I am Wendell Bauer, and this is Middle America. I could not believe the stars of midnight, the view from my front step, the simple things that I took for granted. In all those years I wish I'd left. Well, the people living steady, don't get too upset. If the economy slows down, the road you go down might be the only thing you got left to call home. Yes, we are past Thanksgiving now, but still smack dab in the middle of a pandemic. My family has been sheltering in place for 8 months now, and like 12.5 million other Americans, I'm on unemployment. But hey, it's Christmas time. I became an atheist at 18, but it still feels good to get together and share some good times with those you love. Then again, like so many, my family won't be gathering for the holiday. We are in the middle of a pandemic. Anyway, we could all use a little something extra this season. I have never done Christmas songs or the like, but while researching a fellow Peorian by the name of Robert Ingersoll, I came across a few passages that seemed fitting. Ingersoll was one of the most famous American orators of the middle 19th century. Nicknamed the Great Agnostic, he became one of the staunchest supporters of the separation of church and state. As a philosopher, he produced speeches and writings that are still fascinating and inspiring. As an officer for the Union in the Civil War, he was less successful. Ingersoll had raised the unit to fight, but they were quickly defeated and captured by the Confederacy. Lucky for Colonel Ingersoll, he was paroled and allowed to return home as long as he vowed never to take up arms again. This practice of catch and release was discontinued later in the war. A few years back, a coworker of mine strongly suggested that I give Ingersoll's writings a look. I did, and found many profound ideas, even if they were sprinkled with a dash of blind arrogance. Still, some of it reads as earnest and thoughtful poetry that is difficult to deny. One short piece that I came to enjoy is called A Christmas Sermon, and I would like to read it for you now. A Christmas Sermon by Robert Ingersoll. The good part of Christmas is not always Christian. It is generally pagan, that is to say human, natural. Long before Christ was born, the sun god triumphed over the powers of darkness. About the time that we call Christmas, the days began perceptibly to lengthen. Our barbarian ancestors were worshippers of the sun, and they celebrated this victory over the hosts of night. Such a festival was natural and beautiful. The most natural of all religions is the worship of the sun. Christianity adopted this festival. It borrowed from the pagans the best it has. I believe in Christmas and in every day that has been set apart for joy. We in America have too much work and not enough play. We are too much like the English. I think it was Heinrich Heine who said that he thought a blaspheming Frenchman was a more pleasant object to God than a praying Englishman. We take our joys too sadly. I am in favor of all the good free days. The more the better. Christmas is a good day to forgive and forget. A good day to throw away prejudices and hatreds. A good day to fill your heart and your house and the hearts and houses of others with sunshine.
Sometimes I wake up with the sun shining down on my face, and I wish and I pray that I've been given this day by some higher being for purpose that I won't understand, but still will serve.
I'll deal with leaving Christianity behind another time, as today I would rather discuss faith. In my 20s, I was a mess, but I was an honest mess searching for a sense of self and what I would come to find as the right way for me to live. At the end of my 22nd year, I rented an apartment with my younger brother Thomas and a friend of his, who were both studying at Illinois Wesleyan University. I spent most of my 3 short months of successfully paying rent drinking heavily and gigging. Strangely enough, the life-changing element of this time was found in the shared bathroom, where I would read my roommate's dog-eared paperback of Breakfast of Champions. There, in the humorous writings of Kurt Vonnegut Jr., I found humanism. What humanism means to me is simple. I want to be kind and loving and good to other people and the rest of the universe. I have faith that others given the chance will likely act the same. I believe in the capacity for good in mankind. As a humanist, I think it is perfectly possible to follow religion and be a humanist, although it might go against the idea of original sin. What I love about humanism is what I loved about the Christian church when I was younger. I grew up in a pacifist congregation that believed in unconditional love toward the world outside of oneself. We believed in acting out with that love. Matthew 7:1, "Judge not lest ye be judged." Luke 6:27, "Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you." Proverbs 7:8-9, "Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy." Humanism held all of this without the need for belief in a higher, eternal, omniscient being that I never really felt in my life's experience. If God is the universe, then science and reason were like the scriptures explaining its truths, even if those scriptures were ever evolving. In my atheism and my humanism, I found what I loved about the church's teachings, along with some of the inner peace that the church never afforded me. On Science and Reason by Robert Ingersoll. To love justice, to long for the right, to love mercy, to pity the suffering, to assist the weak, to forget wrongs and remember benefits, to love the truth, to be sincere, to utter honest words, to love liberty, to wage relentless war against slavery in all its forms, to love wife and child and friend, to make a happy home, to love the beautiful in art and nature, to cultivate the mind, to be familiar with the mighty thoughts that genius has expressed, the noble deeds of all the world, to cultivate courage and cheerfulness, to make others happy, to fill life with the splendor of generous acts, the warmth of loving words, to discard error, to destroy prejudice, to receive new truths with gladness, to cultivate hope, to see the calm beyond the storm, the dawn beyond the night, to do the best that can be done and then to be resigned. This is the religion of reason, the creed of science. This satisfies the brain and heart.
There ain't much to make a man feel more atoned than a winter's morning spent with his baby alone. Snowflakes drip through that soft light, and an Andrew Bryant LP is singing by his side. Yeah, you're home. This is your home. You're home. No more days alone. Now you spend your days dry, teach a toddler how to sing. For you hangs on the wall, she's at the table puzzling. And when your wife comes home at the middle of the day, her eyes still glow as you kiss her lips and say you're home. I'm so glad you found me, you're home. Now that we're family, you're home. Let's spend the mornings laughing, no more days alone. Remember driving cross country with a book of burned CDs, headlights breaking mist and bass washing over me. And without a floor or a motel on the cheap, the van kept rolling on with the band in back asleep with dreams of home. Been someday to find you your home. Leave that dripping life behind you, your home. Eyes open and brand new, no more scars to show.
Christmas can be tough sometimes. As I've said, and as you know, Christmas is a day for joy. It's also a day for ritual. As a child, my parents would get the three of us boys into pajamas before taking us out to the midnight Christmas Eve candlelight service at our small church. We would often fall asleep through the sermon, but we loved the end of the service where the congregation surrounded the sanctuary and lit each other's candles one by one. The whole room would throb and flicker as we sang. These services are still a beautiful and treasured memory. My mother, Judy, still occasionally invites my family and me out to the services. And it hurts. It hurts to disappoint her. It hurts to miss out on the beauty of the ritual just because I don't believe in what is being worshipped. While father's struggle with faith has always been apparent, my mother's faith has always seemed so solid, and I can see that she worries for my eternal soul. Ouch. I can't blame her, but I won't be what I am not. I won't worship what seems to be a mere fairy tale. I will live by the morality that has been handed down by her religion, but my faith is placed elsewhere. On Disagreement by Robert Ingersoll. Do not imagine for a moment that I think people who disagree with me are bad people. I admit, and I cheerfully admit, that a very large proportion of mankind, and a very large majority, as vast number, are reasonably honest. I believe that most Christians believe what they teach. That most ministers are endeavoring to make this world better. I do not pretend to be better than they are. It is an intellectual question. It is a question first of intellectual liberty, and after that, a question to be settled at the bar of human reason. I do not pretend to be better than they are. Probably I am a good deal worse than many of them. But that is not the question. The question is, bad as I am, have I a right to think? And I think I have for two reasons. First, I cannot help it. And secondly, I like it. And let me say here once for all, that for the man Christ I have infinite respect. Let me say once for all, that the place where man has died for man is holy ground. And let me say once for all, that to the great and serene man I gladly pay the tribute of my admiration and my tears. He was a reformer in his day. He was an infidel in his time.
Fast and I wake up to wasted time. Why am I so scared to fill up space? Screens are empty and papers are still blank. I can't live like this. I can't live like this. Where you are right now.
So, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays, Merry Solstice, whatever you want to say. Please take this time to reflect. Take this time to find some small way to brighten the days of another during this darkest time in a dark, dark year. Be a reformer. Defend the needy. Do good to those who hate you. And remember that what we are celebrating is a birth. Birth of man, birth of God, birth of Son. Our days get brighter from here on out. Why not help them along the way? Thank you for listening to Middle America. The featured music for this episode was 03 Hoopin by Sadface Killer. Everything else was created by Jared Grabb. You can see a full listing of the music used in today's episode on the episodes page. Editing assistance was provided by Becca Taylor. If you enjoy the show and would like to support it, 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts and subscriptions over at patreon.com/midamericapod are the best ways to do that. Speaking of which, thank you to in_MC for the review. Much appreciated. All right, let your sun shine. Until next time.